Hello, welcome to this show, Law and You. I want to thank all of you who have been following us avidly and those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. Now, today we want to look at a subject that I consider important if you are doing a case. If you are a lawyer or you are a litigant or you have taken a lawyer and then a case is going on. How do you use cross-examination to win your case? So we're looking at techniques of cross-examination, the techniques that you can use during cross-examination. Now, for me, I think cross-examination is one important part of a case that every lawyer needs to be skilled in. So even if you are not a lawyer, but you have a case, sometimes you want to do the case yourself, you also have to be skilled in the art of cross-examination. It's actually an art. Cross-examination is an art, okay? Some other people may say it's a science because it follows, certain predetermined rules. But because there is no predetermined outcome, no assured outcome, we say it's an art. So like every art form, you have to develop it, you have to cultivate it, you have to generate the ability, to become better and better at it. Proficiency comes with use. And so we're looking at today about the techniques of cross-examination, how you can use cross-examination to win your case, how you can cross-examine your opponent or the other party or their witnesses in order to win your case. So I'll just take a break and I will be right back. 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can find your favorite program, Law and You, only on Pinnacle TV. All right, we're looking at techniques of cross-examination. Now, first of all, what is the legal basis of cross-examination? What is the purpose of cross-examination, if I put it like that? What is the purpose of cross-examination? Now, this is, provided for in the law. We can just read it. The purpose of cross-examination. Why do you need to cross-examine somebody? Okay, for those who do not know what cross-examination is, maybe I should start from there. First, witness testifies. He comes to court and says, on the 21st of January 2020, I was standing by the roadside when I saw Mr. A and he was driving his car and he stopped by the roadside. He came down. I saw two people approach him. So he gives that evidence. He gives a narrative of his evidence. That is what in law we call examination in chief. So he gives his examination in chief. He narrates his story. He speaks on the side of the person who called him. Maybe he's a plaintiff witness or he's a defendant witness, prosecution witness, or accused or defendant witness. So he gives the story, to support the case being put forward, being advanced, the case theory of the party that calls him. That is examination in chief. He tells his story. Okay, that's simple enough. Tells his story about what happened. I was in my house at 2 a.m. when I heard a noise. I opened the window. I saw, a car lights. I heard, car. I heard some people shouting, and they were knocking on my gate. I went to my gate. I opened. They said, "Congratulations, we heard your name has been announced. You have won a lottery." They were happy with me. I brought out drinks. I didn't sleep that night. I ordered drinks worth 500,000 naira with food, nearest hotel. Everybody ate. The whole street came, and after they had eaten till about 8 o'clock in the morning, I didn't sleep. They said I had won the lottery. They heard my name. Only for the next morning for them to tell me that it's April Fool. So I want the court to order them to pay me my money back. So that is examination in chief. Okay, so he gives his story. Then the opponent has to ask him questions. So the questioning by the opponent is called cross-examination, as in cross-examination. He has given his examination in chief. Now we cross-examine him. So that's cross-examination, okay? So this is the point at which the opponent now asks him questions. So why is it necessary for the opponent to ask him questions. So I'll just read from section 223 of the Evidence Act we use in Nigeria 2011. Now, this Evidence Act is applicable in all courts in Nigeria. So it's relevant everywhere, wherever you are watching, maybe from Kano, from Maiduguri, from Kaduna, anywhere you are watching, or even outside the country you are interested in knowing Nigerian law. Section 223 says, when a witness is cross-examined, he may, in addition to the question referred to in the preceding sections of this part, be asked any question. So you can ask a witness any question, A, to test his accuracy, veracity, or credibility. Okay? So you can ask a witness any question which tends to test his accuracy, his veracity, and credibility. Or B, discover who he is. You want to discover who he is and what is his position in life. Or C, shake his credit by injuring his character. I always like the way lawmakers they frame these laws. Very exciting, very, very inspiring. The way they use language very beautifully. So you can ask any question, one, and this is the purpose of cross-examination, to test his accuracy. That's number one. You want to test the accuracy of the witness. Now, you want to test his recollection of events. He may be telling a story, but he may not be accurate. His story may be riddled with inaccuracies. His recollection may not be exactly right. So the only way you can show it is by cross-examining him, asking him questions in cross-examination to test his accuracy. For example, he may have said, a man, walking through the door, and the door post is about 4 feet high. And he said the man walked through the doorpost into the room. And then the defendant is a 6 feet 3 inches tall person. Okay? So you want to test his accuracy as to the height of the doorpost. The only time you can ask such questions that tend to test it is under cross-examination. Because if the defendant is 6 feet plus tall and he walks straight through the door without stooping, he couldn't walk that way through a door that is 4 feet high. So it's cross-examination. You can actually, make the point. 2, you want to also test his veracity, his truthfulness. Sometimes people lie. In fact, most times people lie in court, okay? So for one reason or the other, they just want to satisfy somebody, they feel they should really, support a cause. Yeah, maybe it's the land matter and they want to support one side. They can come and lie. It's a criminal case. Maybe they already had a problem with the defendant. They could come and say, look, I saw him when he was shooting somebody. And maybe he never saw the person. So you want to test his accuracy. You want to test his veracity by questions. Now, the third one is credibility, his believability. Can he be believed? You test it through questions, cross-examination. Or you want to find out who he is. To discover who he is and what is his position in life. Sometimes it's important. One's position may actually be decisive in terms of the evidence. If you are talking about what happened in the barracks and you are not a soldier, you were never around the barracks. And, you are talking about what happened in an operation soldiers went to, and you are not a soldier, you are not there. All those can be tested under cross-examination, all right? And then they can shake your credit by injuring his character, all right? So that's not the purpose here. We just want to look at what is the scope? What kind of questions can you ask under cross-examination? Section 215, subsection 2. The examination and cross-examination must relate to relevant facts. But the cross-examination need not be confined to facts to which the witness testified on his examination in chief. So, I mean, that's simple enough. You can ask any question that the witness, of the witness in order to test his accuracy, credibility, veracity, to find out who he is, enjoy his credit, and blah, blah, blah. So, now, what are the techniques? The techniques. You now know the purpose of cross-examination. Now, what are the techniques that you need to use? Number one, I'm going to give you, shall we say, 3 techniques? Let's do 3 today. 3, okay? Let's not do all, so the video doesn't get too long. 3, number 1 technique for cross-examination. Number 1, you must know the case, both of your client and of your opponent. You must know the entire case. Everything. Okay? In other words, if you want to do effective cross-examination, you got to read. Now, this may sound like a cliche. Everybody knows you got to read. What's new about it? Yes, every lawyer reads. If you want to do cross-examination, I need to repeat it. You need to read every page, every sentence, every word. You must commit to memory. You must. Even if it's the pleadings are that high, 520 pages, you have a duty to read everything. You must read the depositions of all the witnesses. You must read the statement of claim, statement of defense, replies. You must read affidavits that were used in interlocutory applications. You must read all the documents that were pleaded, all the documents that are to be tendered, all of them, page by page, line by line. You've got to read. If you cannot read, don't do cross-examination. Okay, so because you get to court, you see some lawyers, I put it to you. They are shouting at the top of their voices. Listen, sound and fury does not automatically signify something, Actually, Shakespeare said, full of sound and fury, but sometimes signifying nothing. So, sound and fury doesn't really signify, everything. So, but content is what matters. Content. So you need to know the content of the case. Number 1, you need to read up everything the witness said, all the witnesses said, because sometimes you may need to bounce a witness against one statement, against something else somebody else said, or what another person said. And most times, the crucial documents you will need for cross-examination will actually always be buried in the midst of many documents. Okay? Now, understand this, and this is my perspective. You may not agree. If you don't, leave your comment in the comment section. We'll figure it out. No case prepared by a human being that is perfect. So if you dig deep enough, you will find a mistake that you can use, you can capitalize on under cross-examination. Sometimes people's memories fail them. And unfortunately, as lawyers, you can use cross-examination to capitalize on the failure of the memory or the recollection of that witness. You can actually take, shall I use the word? I don't want to use a small issue of failure in recollection, and you can expand it in your cross-examination and expose that witness as an untruthful witness. Okay. All right, so that's number 1 point. Number 1 point you need to remember. You need to read everything that has been provided by the other party. Okay, now this means, sometimes you need to forgo that party. You need to forgo that party. You need to forgo that outing. You need to forgo that drinking time. You know what I mean? You need to sit down for like 3, 4, 5 to 6 hours, just reading this thing and gurgitating it, Like the psalmist said, the deep calleth to the deep. Is it at the noise of that waterfall or something like that? Okay, it's been a long time since I read about that. Something like that. So you need to immerse yourself in the case, both of your side, and of the opponent's side. So that when you are cross-examining, it may be at a point you remember critically, the witness says something which is contrary to what he has said in a document. You pull out a document. Okay? So number one, you need to read what the witness has deposed. That's number one. Number two, you need to read the subject. Okay? For example, you are doing a rape case. And this is something I've often watched in court with some consternation. All right, with all due respect to whoever has been involved. You find a medical doctor who is an accomplished gynecologist, or what do you call him? He's come to court to testify on behalf of the prosecution against the defendant. The defendant probably is facing there a rape case or unlawful carnal knowledge of the complainant. And then the medical doctor comes to testify, about his examination. There was a broken hymen, and there was a perforation. There were abrasions on the vagina and all those parts. And he puts up a case that is, professional. Let me put that word, professional. So you are defense counsel. You are coming against a doctor who's been practicing for 28 years in the field of gynecology. Do you think it will be sufficient for you just to know the file? No. You have to spend a little bit of time, my brother or my sister, my learned friend. You need to spend a little bit of time to study about things relating to, evidences for rape, unlawful carnal knowledge, all those sort of things, penetration, evidence of it. You need to read around the subject, really, really and truly. You need to read around the subject of sexual intercourse, evidence of it, blah, 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 all of that. You need to have some knowledge of it. You need to have some knowledge of it so that you can measure up with the doctor, because when the doctor is speaking, he will start using medical terminologies. And if you are unfamiliar with these terminologies, you will be lost. Okay? So that's number 2 point. First one is you need to know your brief. Second one is you need to know the subject. Then number three, prepare an outline of questions. I said an outline. Don't write out all the questions you are going to ask. You find in court, you see some lawyers, they take up the piece of paper, and then they are like reading the questions they have prepared and asking it of the witness. So irrespective of whichever way the witness responds, sometimes the lawyer may be lost or may not be able to catch up with the trajectory of the witness. So you need to make outlines. You can write out questions, outline questions, but you need to practice enough in your mind, in your memory, in your mind, in your closet. You need to practice questioning enough, anticipating the answers, and preparing your rebuttal question. So you need to do this over and over and over and over in your mind. Okay, I know somebody's going to say, oh, that's a lot of hard work. I'm going to read up this. I'm going to read up that subject. I'm going to now practice the questions, prepare them. It's going to be a lot of hard work. Well, cross-examination is for hard workers. Okay, so if you're not ready to work hard, you're not ready to read hard, you're not ready to read wide, cross-examination is not for you. Maybe practice of law is really not for you. Maybe you want to go and sell tomatoes. You can make a lot of money from tomatoes. I've heard tomato sellers make a lot of money. So, you can try that. But if you want to do cross-examination, it's a lot of hard work. Don't forget that the client is counting on you. The success or failure of the client's case is actually dependent sometimes on your cross-examination. From cross-examination, you can bring out. Okay, so that's. Have I given 3? I thought I was going to give 3 points. Have I given 3 points? Okay, so I've given 3 points. I'm not sure how long this video is, but if we have done like 10-15 minutes, I think we can. 20. Okay, that's great. So my guy says it's about 20 minutes. I think we can stop it here. We can actually do a part 2 of it, so we can explore the subject a little bit more. If you'd like us to do a part 2 of it, do let us know in the comment section. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe and click the notification bell so that anytime we upload videos, you will get them, hot. All right. That's how it's been today. See you next time. 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can find your favorite program, Law and You, only on Pinnacle TV.